CELO value forecast January 2026. The expense of CELO truly is expected to in every way that really matters reach in any event sort of worth of 565 in 2026, which is very critical. The CELO cost could for the most part show up at an undoubtedly outrageous worth of 642. With the regular trading cost of 624 all through 2026, which essentially is genuinely critical. CELO value conjecture February 2026, the ordinary expense of CELO could sort of go to 643 toward February's end truly, as opposed to mainstream thinking. CELO could in every practical sense be trading around a generally sort of outrageous genuinely worth of 673. With the base expected cost of 619 or so, they most certainly thought CELO value forecast certainly walk 2026. The expense of CELO is expected to truly reach at the extremely in every practical sense least worth of 638 in 2026 in a very significant manner. The CELO cost could show up at a generally outrageous kind of worth of 705. With the common trading cost of 662, all through 2026. CELO value estimate April 2026 for April. The expense of CELO is expected to show up at an ordinary month to month in a real sense, the farthest reaches of 682. While the coin will trade between a constraint of 738 and something like 658. CELO value forecast, May 2026, the expense of CELO sort of is expected to fundamentally reach at any rate lovely worth of 673 in 2026. Amazingly, the CELO cost could show up at a biggest in every way that really matters worth of 772. With the ordinary trading cost of 702, all through 2026. CELO value conjecture June 2026 for June the expense of CELO fundamentally is expected to show up at a run-of-the-mill month-to-month uttermost spans of 723, while the coin will trade between a constraint of 800 and something like 694, which essentially is genuinely critical. CELO value expectation July 2026. Concerning July 2026 CELO cost, generally is gauged to in every way that really matters show up at a most diminished possible level of 714. In an especially significant manner, the CELO cost could basically show up at a most truly outrageous possible level of 829. With the normal measure cost of 738 or so, they basically thought CELO value gauge August 2026, the sort of ordinary expense of CELO could really go to 767 toward August's end, which basically is very huge. CELO could be trading around a biggest essentially worth of 859, with the base expected cost of 744. CELO value estimate September 2026, the genuinely ordinary expense of CELO could really go to 798 toward September's end in a by and large significant manner. CELO could be trading around a genuinely outrageous worth of 890. With the base expected cost of 774, in an unpretentious manner. CELO value expectation October 2026, the expense of CELO truly is expected to truly reach essentially in every practical sense worth of 784 in 2026. In an unobtrusive manner, the CELO cost could especially show up at a generally exceptionally outrageous worth of 929. With the normal trading cost of 814, all through 2026. CELO value forecast November 2026, the expense of CELO fundamentally is expected to reach at the actual kind of the least especially worth of 809 in 2026. The CELO cost could basically show up at a biggest worth of 962. With the normal trading cost of 838, all through 2026. CELO value expectation December 2026. Concerning December 2026 CELO cost, is guessed to essentially show up at a most insignificant possible level of 831. The CELO cost could show up at a most especially outrageous possible level of 1004. With the ordinary gauge cost of 855. CELO genuinely passed value examination in the past 24 hours. The crypto really has been decreased by 0.81 in its continuous worth. Expecting we certainly ponder the continuous business area cap of the CELO, With yesterday's you can for the most part see that the market cap sort of is moreover down fundamentally in opposition to prevalent thinking. From latest 7 days the CELO was an extremely extraordinary really vertical example and extended by 361, which generally is genuinely critical. CELO explicitly has shown solid areas for very as of late, and this could be respectable. A sort of entryway to make a plunge and invest within the latest 1 month. The expense of CELO decreased by 72,507, getting rid of a shocking run-of-the-mill measure of 251 from its continuous certainly worth this startling down. Suggests that the coin essentially is in plunge right now, inferring that it might especially be a good buy, a really open entryway for fast endeavor, in an unobtrusive manner. The 90 days cost change explicitly is close 81.98, and the expense circumnavigated from a base run-of-the-mill cost of 498 to generally outrageous in every way. That really matters ordinary expense of 575 in the past 90 days, which basically is very huge. CELO in a real sense is someplace close 72.27 with the most exceptionally outrageous regular expense of the coin generally was around 422, and the base common worth of in a real sense was around 361 in past 4 months. CELO value figure 2026 facts. What will basically be CELO fundamentally worth in 2026? Kind of an opposition to prevalent thinking. The CELO cost still up in the air to show up at a most lovely outrageous level of 1004, with actually the smallest expense of 831, close to the completion of 2026. Incredibly, does CELO fundamentally have a future which by and large is very huge to the extent that worth CELO has an extraordinary sort of potential to show up at new levels in a very significant manner. It basically is figure that CELO will augment in regard, or so they truly thought, as sort of shown by unambiguous trained professionals and business examiners. CELO can especially rock the boat in and out of town cost of 63.57 till 2030, which for the most part is genuinely critical. Is CELO genuinely worth buying in 2026 or so? They certainly thought CELO's worth should continue to develop as lack will in truly broad help cost rise, which for the most part is genuinely huge on the off chance that it's not excessively a difficult situation. Note there really is a bet to any endeavor which is very huge essentially in a real sense. Put assets into what you can sort of accomplish preceding showing up at any goals and fundamentally lead the most lovely outrageous assessment possible. CELO value figure January 2027. For January, the expense of CELO really is expected to generally show up at an ordinary month to month